Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the book. I'm in a different book today. I'm working into Mysteries of ISIS. Got a nice little lesson for you. Ooh, good information. Let's do what we do. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune into receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. So you see where we going with this? Let's get that together. And I ask the question. Do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's the idea. That's my goal. And it's rhetorical. And if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Yeah, that's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Right thinkers, we have a question. I want to ask the question. One of my favorites. Right thinkers, let's talk about what is consciousness. Now, it's spelled two different ways. CONSCIOUSNESS. That's what I call the individual conscious or universal conscious. But conscience, CONSCIENCE, is what the heart has. That means it's been proven. It's a scientific fact. It's no longer a concept or idea. Nope, it's a fact. Okay, let's start with that. So, conscience is really God. The air that we breathe is conscious. How the hell could air be conscious? Quick example. I just heard this. I couldn't wait to use this test. When you stop breathing in your nose and your mouth for 4 minutes, cut off all the oxygen. Don't breathe, don't inhale, don't exhale for 4 minutes. What'll happen? Oh, your heart will stop, your brain will stop, you die. No. None of that happens. That continues after 6 minutes, you start to break down. But at 4 minutes, after 4 minutes, you lose consciousness. So without air, without inhaling, exhaling, you won't be conscious. Think about that. So just want to and see, because I study and I learn, I like to get information, and this is just another little tidbit that I just added to my repertoire. See, I'm learning. If I thought I just knew everything about consciousness, I wouldn't learn something else, the concept. That's why. So as a student in life, I'm always open for subjective concepts and opinions that may be different than what I may know or feel, that I have experienced. Consciousness is the primordial state of existence. God is conscious, okay? Watch this. As referred to in your Egyptian and Indian mythologies, they had this concept. That's where I got it from. Pure consciousness or primeval waters are considered to be what? Unformed matter. We call it the noon, okay? Whatever you call it, but we know it is just that. Unformed matter. We call it the self, the all, God. In every culture, they got a different name for God. So we all know God, but everybody got a different name for it. Get past that. But he's all conscious. I mean, he knows. And watch this. Matter of fact, pure consciousness is the stuff of which everything physical objects is composed of. And it is also the origin of your subtlest matter in which thoughts are composed. Remember, we just talked about Blaise Pascal. He thought himself into existence from the heart to the mind to the utterance, and you make it real. Ain't that how we create things now? Same way. That's how we in the image of God. That concept right there. Now, in the same way that modern physics, remember, modern physics got all kind of technical machinery, all this stuff, but we didn't have that ancient times. We didn't have that luxury. We had what we knew at that time, and it was right on point. Why? Everything I'm learning from y'all new ain't new to me. I studied the ancients, and they already had it. Simple. What is this? Modern physics, and I love it, has discovered the same underlying basis and behind all matter and energy. Dark matter, dark energy. They call it a whole bunch of stuff they really don't know. They all the way there. So they give it names. But watch this. They call it behind all matter and energy. We know that's God. But the sages of ancient times, what? Discovered that there is one underlying substance, aka pure consciousness. That means something that knows from the get, from the rip, and is pure, untouched. Behind all things in matter, thoughts, aka energy, etc. They know it's something that causes all of that. And they call it the primeval waters, okay, the ocean of consciousness, okay, remember that? The primeval water is the symbol for what we call pure consciousness. As unmodified or unconditioned existence. Remember, and know anything is possible. We are born into this world to be anything that we choose. So that means a possibility for every living thing is there. From the uninformed substance that has yet to be known, modified condition into what? A particular form or another through what? The process of thought, consciousness. It is able to become whatever it desires. We as human beings, spiritual beings, in our human form, can achieve whatever we can conceive. That's power. And that is to take on any form of power or vibration. The vibration causes ripples, okay, in consciousness. I mean, the thoughts being stirred up, something been happening. And these ripples are what constitute what we know as movement, shape, colors, dimensions, sounds, light, vibration, etc. Frequency, all these things are done. And when you go to sleep, watch this. This is the part about you need to understand. When you go to sleep, at the beginning, there is no dream. You're just laying down, nothing going on. You're pretty much still in a state of awareness, still woke. Only unconditioned and unformed consciousness is at that point. Now, after some time, the more subtler matter of your consciousness differentiates itself into what? Varied forms of what? Circumstances, feelings, etc. Now you're starting to drift off into what? Your dream state. And in the same manner, the universe has arisen out of the divine consciousness of the self. That's God creating everything out of his mind. Remember, I'm going to get you there. It's all mental. God's mental. Now, in the primordial state, there is only one self, one God. That's it. But everybody called him something different. Everybody labeled, it's okay, and that's fine. But he gives all the accolades, all the titles, and that's due him. That's fine. But there's only the one self. That's the pure consciousness. That's the all. That's the absolute. All encompassing. The virtue. Everybody has a name. and there is not even a thought about anything other than what? Itself. It knows all. Upon the emergence of what? The first thought, immediately there is what? Something besides what? The self. If all you think about is the self, the first time you go out of self, now you're creating something outside of yourself. That's what God does. Over and over and over. And when you think of something besides yourself, now it's in what? It's in objective form. Now there is experience of what? Dun, 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 dun. My girl, duality. The single one. God is one. Ain't but one. Ain't nothing comparison. When you got one, you got nothing else. From that, he became three. That means duality, male and female, good, bad, light, dark, whatever. But that's what happens after God. Everything comes in pairs. I got that broken down for you too. It makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to teach it to you so I can give it to you where you can listen, understand, interpret, and then practice it. So I ain't trying to, show you how smart I am and use big words. No, I'm trying to make it real simple so that you can understand it. That's why I break it down, give you a good synopsis. Where we at now? Simplify it for you, make it real simple. Where we at? I ain't trying to confuse you. Now there is what? The experience of what we call duality. That's Maya. The first thing God did when he came out was he set forth Maya. That means there be choices. Okay? And the only true choice, one choice you have is him. But he give you a choice, you or him. See? It don't get no better than that. That's 50-50 odds. Ain't no gambling house giving you better odds than 50-50. Moving on. And in the triad, okay, that's the one becoming three. Now, because the self can now what? Perceive something alongside or other than itself in pairs, it is only through what? An illusion that the self is now able to see anything as if it is other than itself. He playing peekaboo with himself. You see when babies, when you cover their eyes, they like, it's so cry. God know everything. It'll be boring. It gets boring. You know what's going to happen. It just gets boring. Think about living forever. Nobody, you really want that. That's God. He the only one who had the ability to do that. We had to meld with him, to become one with him, and now we're in his spirit like that. And my man, physically, he's gone. Spiritually, he's still here. Still in my memory, still in my everything. Okay? So that's what it's about. Now, if it is like stepping in front of a mirror. Right? Prior to stepping in front of the mirror, there is what? Just you. That mirror going to show you a reflection. And afterwards, both you and your reflection, you and the reflection are in reality one and the same. See what we're going with this? Oh, this is perfect. Now, through your though you appear to be what? Two separate entities. We are in the visuals. Dual. We're dual. Physical and spirit. Matter and spirit. In Masonic order, we show you the compass represents God, the circle. The square represents man, the physical form. So it's spirit over matter. It's a beautiful analogy and it works perfect. Why? Because it explains things that you can explain without telling us a whole bunch of stuff. Why? Break it down real simple. Watch this. Now, you are an individual, meaning you two in one, okay? But the same process that operates in when you're dreaming, whatever is in your subconscious mind, whatever is in your conscious mind, whatever is in your unconscious mind, it's all still inside you. You can bring it to life in your dream state. God does that in the universe. Okay, that's the concept. Now, remember, we're made in his image. And first, there is only what? You. And from your consciousness emerges what we call the dream world. You sleep. Everything's happening what? Inside your head. The movie. You're going to the movie theater. You run the reel now. Your day's activity, whatever went on, you run it back. That's what the dream world's all about. When you get better at dreaming and controlling your dream, call it lucid dreaming. You can actually be awoke in your dream and navigate through your dreams. Whoa, that's just the fun part. That's next level stuff. Well, I can't do that in my dream. I can't remember half the stuff I dream. That's because you ain't practicing how to know yourself. Meditative state of mind. Your mind become powerful and you control it. Now, in your own dream, at first, there is only you, right? And from your conscious emerges the dream world. And the dream, watch this, all the objects and all the personalities and situations, etc., is all in your mind. You create all of that. That's like God. Now, in order for this to be possible, how? There must be a what? Triad, a trinity, a three. Remember, I was one, I became three. Let's break it down. The seer is the one. That's Amen. That's the one that's hidden. That's the seer. Object. Seen, that's Ra. Physicality of what the hidden one can produce. Life for everything else. He put that there to shine over the earth. Sight. And that's the last part about it. Pata. He's the physical form. He comes in human form. So you have the seer, the hidden, Amon, seen, Ra, and the sight, Pata, the physical form. Or you can look at it as the subject, again, Amon, object, Ra, the interacting medium. Okay, you can use Ra as the subject, and the object is Pata. And the medium interacting is Amon, the hidden one. Again, it's still three. But this is the function of your mind. That's how it works. Conscious, unconscious, subconscious. Three phases, and you control all of them. That's why Hermes Trismegistus, he's thrice great. In every concept, he's still great. That's how you should be. In every aspect of yourself, you should be great and master of each one. Your subconscious, your unconscious, and your conscious mind states that you are. It allows what? This world, which is an illusion of the triad, to exist. You need three things for it to work. However, the staff of Tahuti, the shaft, and the two circles, that's still the sign for medical science to the day. So, watch this, the triad, the three things, two things going up, one thing to have. However, each element of the objective form is composed of the same stuff. Ding, ding, ding. The material out of which dreams and your waking consciousness arise is the same. Your mind. The sages have discovered that pure consciousness is the underlying basis of all human minds in all of its states. But when thoughts arise in the individual mind, your consciousness takes on what they call identifications with the various forms. The mind controls the body. The spirit takes on whatever the mind. If the ego is running the mind, run by ego, the spirit will follow. Again, it has no control. And in whatever form it goes in, it's going to identify with it. Watch this. Now, at this time, God is said to have created him or herself in the form of that which is created, at the same way as a person consciousness takes on the forms of their dreams. Only you know the people that's in your dream. The person you brought there don't know they're in your dream. But now, ancient times, telepathically, we could meet in dreams, in the dream state. Why? Because we were that much mentally incompatible with each other. That's why now we can't communicate. But everything now is testing. That's texting nonsense. There's no mental telepathy. There's no finishing the sentence for other people. There's no synchronicity between people. It's hard to communicate now. That's what they're doing. Where we at? Okay, now watch this. The material out of which you drink. Okay, we did that. Okay, now, okay, at the same time, God created him. If I have a God that I can believe in who self-created, I can go with that. Not a problem with that. Makes sense. I understand it. And through my studies and my practice, makes a whole lot of sense. I can make that happen. Now, it takes on the form of your dreams. When consciousness becomes something, anything from the grossest form to the subtlest, like a tree, a rock, a planet, a human being, air, radiation, etc., all elements, everything, then it is said to have what? Created a physical object. In this manner, creation is created. The self, seemingly no longer simple, just exists in a complete peace and stillness. When the self, again, enlivens a physical object, such as in an animal, a plant, or the human body with soul, spirit, it has a higher consciousness that have to be met by the individual. Animals don't have it, only human beings do. And then it is said to what? Be living. A body without a spirit is dead. It's a corpse. It had no spirit, it had no life. Okay? So when the self becomes involved, and it's all spiritual, and forgets itself, which is the spirit in the body, thinking that it is what? The human body that is in, due to ignorance of itself, then this process is called what? Identification or egoism. Believing that only yourself, your edge got out. You only identify with you, yourself. That's pure egoism. And now the self, which was pure consciousness, has what happened? Become evolved in the human form, and the thoughts through which the process is seemingly becoming ignorant of its real nature. Ding, ding, ding. Once you're reincarnated into the flesh, born again as baby, we are ignorant of who we are. So now you got the life process of going through the years of learning and getting better and growing. And this is the beginning process, which leads to what? The emergence of an individual soul, or the focus of one's consciousness of what? Your lower self. That's the ego self. That's natural. It's a natural fit. That's all you got. Higher level is learned, is acquired. That's why you have teachers and sages and mystics and gurus to help you along the path if you aspire to be better. Some people comfortable being ignorant. We talked about that already. Okay. But the soul may be thought of as a ray of consciousness, while the universal consciousness is actually the sun. The sun rays come down, we all get fed. Conscious, every individual has a part of the all conscious of their own to make, to do, and be. That's free will. Okay? Use it correctly, you benefit. Use it, mistreat it, you'll be punished. Watch this. When you overcome your physical desires or the sensual experiences of the flesh, now the self, now as the individual, which is you, your individual ray is unaware of its true nature. It's ignorant of itself, and now became caught up as if blinded by what? Your physical earthly desires. Yeah, human. It becomes human. It thinks it's inhuman. So it's ego-driven. In the biblical creation story, watch this. When God, and this makes sense, if you understand it, watch this. When God created Adam and Eve, this is your story, male and female, he made them. It was a way of saying that now there was differentiation in consciousness. Adam being male, Eve being female in their own rights, but they had their own what? Consciousness. And they were tempted by the serpent to what? Eat from the fruit in which they had been forbidden. They were told not to do something. They was given an order, a commandment, what you want to call it. And they was told not to eat the forbidden fruit. To them, now prior to eating of the fruit from the tree of what? Good and evil, the tree of knowledge. When you're under God's tutelage, you don't need knowledge. Just do what God tell you to do. Just follow God's lead. He told them, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, long life. As soon as you eat from that tree, you will surely die. Why? Because the human part will come out of you, and that's where the humans got to die. All those who follow God in obedience won't die. That's practice in Maya. They told you that concept. So it makes sense. Even in the Bible, 5,000 years later, they still get the same concept. Y'all just misinterpret it. Watch this. In order to eat from the fruit, the tree of life, okay, no good or evil, Adam and Eve did not have any, special feelings of indifference, no self-knowledge, no identifications, okay, between the two of them or their nature. Adam didn't know he was male. Eve didn't know she was female. God did. They didn't. So they was cool. But once they got knowledge of self, ding, 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 everything was the same, equal, non-dual until what? However, once what? Desire. That it led them to what? Eat from that tree of knowledge. They desired to want more, something else other than what they already had, which is God. And they wanted what? Evil. And thus, knowledge of good and evil immediately caused them to now what? See themselves as different. And also took them away from who? God. Within nature. And between themselves, it caused them to now see the difference in them and even God. It must be understood, however, that when we use the word becomes, it does not signify an irreversible transformation like milk to yogurt. It is more like liquid water to ice. If you take water and freeze it, it turns to ice. You let it thaw out, it go back to water. If you change milk to yogurt, it ain't going back to milk. Okay, understand that. But they tell you that's not the difference. The difference with God is, and this is what the world is, and this is also what human life is based on. A temporary, what, lasting for billions of years in human terms, appearing, which the absolute has assumed. He's assumed human form, give us anything we need. Now we have expectancy, a life expectancy. We will die. The physical body will perish. That's what the concept was. But the creation story of the ancient Egypt, the Bible and the Kabbalism, the Jewish mysticism, and the Upanishads are all remarkably what? Similar in the notion of primeval formless and in the subsequent names and forms, differentiation and objectification of matter, which arose later. Everybody had a story. Everybody had their story. Again, creation started with matter and physical reality. And according to the Shabaka stone out of Memphis inscription, they said the nature and composition of matter and energy, what is termed as physical reality now, time and space, and the concept of consciousness and the objectification of subtle matter into gross matter, spirit into physical form, names and forms called creation, were understood, watch this, and clearly set down in the hieroglyphic text, which date back, you ready? 5,500 BCE. In the theological system of the Memphis in Egypt as follows. The Shabaka stone stated, Ptah conceived in his heart, reasoning and consciousness, spelled Sonscience, all that would exist from the heart. And his utterance, we call it Heka, words of power, the word and the willpower from the heart and the thought concept that make manifest, aka creation, which the first creation was the noon. He created that. The primeval waters where all the uninformed matter and energy reside. That's Papa's background. He wanted it just like that. As long as everything was cool, he was comfortable. When Ra came out, brought light into the world, Papa's had a problem with that, and they've been going back and forth at it ever since then. That's why you have 12 hours of darkness, 12 hours of sunlight. Apophis represents darkness. Ra represents sunlight. So who's winning that fight? They've been fighting for a long time. Ain't nobody won yet. It's going to continue to go on. And if Ra, which the sun can not stay up all the time, but darkness can exist forever. We come from there. It's a little tidbit. But the noon and the primeval waters, the uninformed matter and energy. Thus, not having no place to sit when he came out, Ptah causes noon to emerge. You see the boat pushing up? This is what they mean. They say that he had nowhere to sit. What is that? Well, he pushing up the boat. Oh, no, the book in the book. Sorry about that. I'm in a different book. Oh, no. But you had Noon pushing up Ra in the boat of Capri, pushing the sun disk on the boat, and all 9 of the god and goddesses. Okay, we call it the Ado, the Enoch. Okay, excuse me, the 9. Then, not having nowhere to sit, you had the primal heel. That was the Noon merging out. He had nowhere to sit. And Atum then emerges and sits upon Ptah, and then came out of the water. We had 4 pairs of god and goddesses, aka the Agdo, the 8 gods. And on the other side, we got 9. Asar had 9. Ptah had 8. Noon, which represents the primeval waters, and Noonet represented heaven and earth. Hu represent boundlessness. Huet represents that which has boundaries. Again, opposites. That's what Mayat represents. And he's showing it to you right here. Darkness, Kuk, light, Kuket. 2 opposites come together to make one. Amun, the hidden one. Always been, always will be. Aminet, the manifested one. Okay, that's the realm we go to after death. The netters, Noon, Noonet, Hu, Huet, Ku, Kuket, Amen, and Aminet are all considered to be what they thought the lips of and the teeth of God. Why? Because their mouth, which speaks the names of all things which came into existence. Heka, he was speaking them out into existence. And the heart and the tongue, which has power over the limbs, God is found where? In the heart, within all bodies, and in the mouth of each netter and all humans as what? The tongue, which is the will of all things that live. It is God who thinks as the heart and who commands as the tongue. So I feel it, I think it, I speak it. That which with the nose, which breathes, the eyes which see, the ears to hear. And all of these are senses of the physical body, which are communicated where? To the brain? Nope, to the heart. It is the heart mind, conscious mind, CONSCIENCE, which makes all knowledge and awareness manifest. And then the tongue is what repeats what the heart has thought. Boom, boom, boom. All divine utterance manifested themselves through a thought of the heart and communicated from the mind to the tongue, out of the mouth. Justice is done to they who do what is love, right? Punishment due to those who do what is hated, evil, bad, wrong. Life is given to they who are what? Peaceful. Death is given to the criminal, the sinners. Told you, the punishment for sin is death. In truth, wrapping it up, taking it home right now. In truth, God caused the netters to what? To be born, aka the creation of the cities and establishment of the gnomes, which is 42, the establishment of the netters in their places of what? Adoration, wherever they was worshipped at. God made their likenesses according to what? Their desires. Thereby the netters entered into their bodies the variety of wood and all types of mineral, clay, and all things that grow from what? From these, and in which they have taken place. Foods, provisions, and all good things. He, Ptah, is also you and me, which we are Haru. So Ptah is in me and you too. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I'll be back. We just getting started. It's getting good to me. Hope you enjoyed it too. And in closing, right thinkers, me, y'all gonna be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that you guys have passed away. I'm out.